The Python's Bride, Part 6. King Ozi raised his hand, commanding silence. Enough, he bellowed, his voice echoing through the hall. I am the king, and my decision is final. We will find Nneka, return the land to the people of Okoji, and lift this cause. I will not sacrifice my daughter to Ojadili. We will do what is right, even if it means going against tradition. The room fell into a tense silence, the elders exchanging dark looks. Ojo stood by her father's side, her resolve hardening. She knew that the path ahead would be difficult and dangerous, but she also knew that they had no choice. The land must be returned, and peace must be restored. As the meeting ended, Ojo and Ada retreated to their chambers, their minds wrestling with the task that lay before them. They had the king's blessing to find Nneka, but they also knew that they had met powerful enemies among the elders. The next steps of their journey would be fraught with peril, but they were determined to see it through. Tomorrow, Ojo said quietly as they prepared for bed, we will leave at dawn to find Nneka. We must act quickly before the elders can do anything to stop us. Ada nodded, her eyes filled with determination. We'll find her, Ojo. We'll find her and end this cause once and for all. As they drifted off to sleep, the moonlight cast a gentle glow over the palace, a silent witness to the events that were about to unfold. The first light of dawn slowly spread across the village of Okana, turning everything golden and warm. Princess Ojo and Ada woke up early, still thinking about the scary events of the night before. They knew they were about to face even more dangers, but they were determined to find the wise woman, Nneka. As they got ready for their journey, the palace was quiet, with only the distant sound of a rooster crowing. Ojo tied a small leather pouch around her waist, filling it with food for the journey. Ada did the same, her face showing how serious she was. We must move quickly, Ojo whispered as they stepped outside into the cool morning air. The elders might try to stop us, or worse, follow us and ruin our mission. Ada nodded in agreement, her eyes carefully watching the courtyard for any movement. The palace guards stood at their posts, unaware of how important the princess's mission was. For now, the path ahead seemed clear. As they reached the palace gate, they heard a familiar voice call out to them. Princess Ojo, Ada, wait. They turned to see Obi, one of the king's most loyal warriors, hurrying toward them. He was tall and strong, but his eyes were kind, making the girls feel safe. What are you doing here, Obi? Ojo asked, trying to keep her voice calm. The king sent me to go with you on your journey, Obi replied. He knows you're leaving this morning. Ojo turned and saw her father waving from a distance. She waved back and smiled. I am to protect you until you return, Obi added. Ojo felt relieved. Thank you, Obi, she said. We need all the help we can get. With Obi by their side, the trio set off through the village, their footsteps echoing in the quiet morning. The villagers were just beginning to wake up, unaware of the dangerous quest their princess was on. As they went deeper into the forest, the air became thick with the smell of wet earth and old leaves. The sound of their footsteps was swallowed by the dense bushes, leaving an eerie silence. Suddenly, the silence was broken by the rustling of leaves. The trio stopped, their senses on high alert. Obi drew his sword, his eyes scanning the shadows for any sign of movement. An old woman stepped out from behind a tree, her movements slow and careful. She was bent over with age, her hair a wild mess of gray. But her eyes, though cloudy, were sharp and watchful. Who goes there? The old woman croaked, her voice rough as if she hadn't used it in a long time. We seek Nneka, the wise woman of Okoji, Ojo said, stepping forward. We have come to ask for her help. The old woman eyed them cautiously. And who are you to seek Nneka? She asked, her tone doubtful. I am Princess Ojo of Okana, Ojo replied, her voice steady. I have come to make things right for the wrongs done to your people. The gods have sent us to find Nneka because she knows how to lift the cause that has troubled both our lands. The old woman stared at Ojo for a long time, her expression unreadable. Then, without a word, she turned and began to walk deeper into the forest, her steps slow and steady. Follow me, she said simply. Obi, Ojo, and Ada looked at each other before following the old woman. The path grew even narrower, the trees pressing in on all sides. The air was thick with tension, as if the forest itself were holding its breath. After what seemed like forever, they entered a small clearing. In the middle of the clearing stood an old, worn-out hut, its roof sagging with age. The old woman pointed to the hut. Nneka is inside, she said. But be careful. She does not like visitors. You must be respectful and humble if you want her to help you. Ojo nodded, her heart pounding in her chest. She took a deep breath and walked toward the hut, her steps careful. Inside, the hut was dimly lit by a single flickering candle. The air was filled with the smell of herbs and smoke. In the corner of the room, an old woman sat cross-legged on the floor, her eyes closed as she muttered softly. Ojo hesitated at the entrance, unsure of how to begin. Ada and Obi waited outside, giving her silent support. Nneka, Ojo called softly. The old woman opened her eyes, her gaze sharp and intense. Who dares to disturb me? She demanded, her voice harsh. I am Princess Ojo of Ukana, Ojo replied, bowing her head respectfully. I have come to ask for your help. The gods have sent us to find you because they say you know how to find the people of Okoji. Nneka's eyes narrowed as she studied Ojo. So, the time has finally come, she said, her voice softening. I have waited many years for this moment. She struggled to get up, and Ojo rushed to help her, but she pushed her back. I'm sorry, Ojo said. The old woman finally stood up and looked at Ojo intensely, then smiled. The path ahead is full of danger and sacrifice. Are you ready to do whatever it takes to make amends for the sins of your ancestors? Ojo nodded, her voice firm. I am ready to do whatever is necessary, Nneka. Nneka studied her for a long time before nodding. Very well, she said. The price of my help will not be easy to pay. You must bring me the most treasured possession of your father, the king. Only then will I agree to take you to the people of Okoji. Ojo's heart sank. She knew her father would be willing to sacrifice anything for her, but she also knew that what Nneka wanted would come at a great cost. What is it that you seek, Nneka? Ojo asked, her voice trembling. Nneka's eyes gleamed as she leaned forward. I seek the golden crown of Ukana, she said, her voice low and serious. It is the symbol of your father's power and authority, the most precious thing in all of Ukana. Bring it to me, and I will take you to the people of Okoji. Ojo's breath caught in her throat. The golden crown wasn't just a piece of jewelry, it was the very essence of her father's authority, passed down through generations of kings. To give it up would mean losing his claim to the throne, and the kingship might leave her family. But Ojo knew she had no choice. The fate of her people, and her own life, depended on it. I will bring you the crown, Ojo said, her voice filled with determination. But know this, Nneka, I do this not out of fear, but out of love for my people, for the unborn generations, and out of a sense of justice. I will do whatever it takes to bring peace between the gods and the people of Ukana and also restore the community of Okoji, even if it means sacrificing my father's birthright. Watch out for Part 7.